Scooby's over here bothering us again. Now he's gonna give us a butt treatment. What are you doing, Scooby? You giving me the butt treatment? See, we're not petting him enough, so yeah. See, it's 10 o'clock, so it's his dinner time. I guess about 4 hours ago, so he's not happy. Okay, so the wrist pins were shovelhead diameter. They were slightly bigger than my shovelhead knucklehead pin because my pin was used, but they were not as big as the Evo. So these are going to be a little bit loose up in here, which is no major issue for a high RPM motor. Race stuff, you always make it loose, it floats around more. The problems right now is that the bearings over here are not, they don't have these rollers separate. This roller here is the same as the early Big Twin roller, which is your 51 to 72 roller. This one's oddball, I don't have it. It's shorter than my other roller, so I can't put my roller in that cage. Some of these cages I can't replace the rollers, so you're stuck with what they are. Now these have 16 rollers per cage, each one of them, so you got 16. So the aluminum cages have 17 rollers per cage, and it's a little bit taller, a little bit less in length on this one, and a little bit more on this one, on the roller length. So it's about the same bearing area when you're all done. The early cages have 18 rollers per cage, 2 more, and they're this length on this one and longer on that one, quite a bit longer than that one. So that's your best cage. So that's your 51 to 72 stuff. The cheap stuff is the aluminum cage. What do you got? You got a rat over there? Scooby's waiting. So we have lots of different parts and pieces. Here, hold this.
Yep.
So this is your aluminum cage. So these are 294 instead of 325. These were 585 and yours were 550 or something, 560. They're shorter.
Yeah.
So that was those. These are V-twin brass cages, or Dixie brass cages, excuse me. These are copies of the Harley 18 roller earlier cage, which is your 51 to 72. I haven't used these yet, so I don't know how good they are. I don't know if they break or not. Don't know. I know the V-twin cast iron replacement cages break, so I don't use them. A couple hundred miles they shatter. So those ones I don't like using. Jim's makes the steel cage, which is a good cage. What's this one? These have rollers in them. So here's a steel cage. That's your 51 to 72 cage. See, I mean, she's got 2 more rollers in there,
Yeah.
but it has the long ones in it. So, like I said, the aluminum cages have 17, these have 18, and you got 16. See how big that roller looks? It's actually the same diameter roller. Just the way the cage is made. But you got a lot more in here because it's not as thick as, you know, this has more material between the cage, which makes the roller look bigger. So these are more aluminum cages. So these are the cheapest way of going, just doing aluminum cages. That's what most guys do. So Jim's was making these steel cages. I think they still do, and they're pretty pricey because they're Jim's. S&S used to use these back in the day, back in the 80s, or not in the 90s and early 2000s. They had these steel cages until they went to those cheap ass ones. So there's still some of them floating around out there. I used to have some, but it looks like they're more or less gone now. Oh, there we go. So here's S&S. So 05, they were still making them. These are S&S steel cages.
And can those fit and replace?
Or these are ones I put in here. No, these are ones I put in here. These are alloy. So these are old S&S cages. That, yeah, these are used.
Okay.
I took these out of a job and swapped them out. I kept the good shit. He wanted the other stuff. He didn't like steel on there. He wanted lightweight. Oh yeah, fine. Give you lightweight. So these are S&S steel cages. So I have one set of those we can use. So that's how you do that. Or you get used Harley cages. Or you get new Harley cages. I had some floating in here somewhere. Right here. These are brand new Harley cages.
Authentic rust.
They come with rust. This is the orange AMF packaging, which means it's early 70s.
Oh shit.
You know, 69 through 74-ish time frame. 75. Somewhere in 75, 60 I went to red packaging. Red, white, and blue. Probably 76. But before that, they were the orange packaging. So that's how you identify years of this stuff is. Some of this stuff has date codes on it too. Here we go. This one has numbers on there. You didn't read the cage, did you? No, this just has a part number and it's got OBS written right on it. Great. Oh, yeah, we didn't need that, did we?
I think you went that way.
We haven't stepped on it yet.
Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Nope.
Nope.
Gone.
Gone.
Into the twilight zone.
We didn't need it. Unless you want them. We got more for. So there you go. You get to pick your cages out. Which ones you want?
The steel ones.
Oh shit. Which ones?
The good ones. Let's go with the refurbed.
The refurb. The S&S ones. Is that the one you want? Or do you want the ones on the ground?
Let's go with what you got.
I got all kinds of them. I have lots of cages. I'm cheap. I like cages. I buy all kinds of junk. See? We have all kinds of cages.
Oh, shit.
Rod cages. I used to have more. I guess I've been selling some off. And these are really nice ones. These are Harley cages. I get all kinds of crap. You got used pins and shafts that I never use. Why would you want to use them? Yeah, this one's heavy. Oh, this is oil pumps and rockers, all kinds of crap. Ah, I thought I had more of a box of used ones. What's up in there? What the hell's up in there? Oh, the rocker arms. Panhead crap. Yeah. Another box someplace. I don't know where. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, somewhere. Hopefully I got more. Just have 3 or 4 sets left. It pissed me off until I had for my bike. I got more bikes than that. So, all right, we'll figure this out. We'll be back. I'm gonna work on this one. All right. This will not cut very much. This one will cut more. lowest number we have?
Was 5, right?
3 is where, well, I'm talking about the lowest number we got.
Oh,
3. This one was 4, wasn't it? 3. 3. So I'm going to try to keep as close to 3 as we can and make it round though. Let me take out number 3 with it. Need a bone, right? Then I went 2 to 4 and 2 to 4.5. That one's 2 to 3. This one's 2 to 3/4, 3 3/4, almost 4. So this is our worst one here. About 4.5 on that one side. About 4.5. This is 4 on the outside. So we got down to within 2/10 of that around. The one was down to 1/10. This one is about 1/10 bigger or smaller than this one. So if we're going down to 4/10, the average is 3. We were at pin was 1 under, the bearings were 4 under, so we should be around 17 here. So we got an extra, we're an extra 5/6 more. So we're pretty loose. We're definitely loose, quite a bit. It's like 16/10, I think. Because we're 4. We're 4 under 4, that's 8. 4 and 4 is 8. So we're about 7/10 more on a hot rod bike, you know. Between 6 and 7/10 extra on a hot rod motor. So you're up more in racing clearances, or mild racing. Pretty hard running. So that's where your bearings at, so they are pretty loose. Be nice if they were tighter. The female ones I can tighten up because I have that roller. I can make these tighter, but I can't do anything about this one unless we change cages. Or unless I shorten rollers. Grind roller shorter. I've done that before.
oh shit.
But it's not worth the effort because you got a little cage you can use that are a lot better. So, and they're still not round. They're still 2/10 out, which is, I need a little bit more. Need a little bit more to work with. But I took out half a tenth, got down to 2/10, or half a thou, I got down to 2/10. So we took out about half the air. But that's all I can do without going big.
Without going too big, yeah.
Without going more roll. We're already too damn big. It's basically it's pretty loose right now. So the crank pin's 1 thou under is our problem. It's really small. Most of the pins are between 4 and 7/10 under, depending on who made them which day. But they're already clearance for that application. Or I don't think they're clearance. I think that's the number they use. But I don't know. It's hard to tell what SNS uses for numbers. It varies so much. But right now, your stuff is, your combination part says everything's loose. The big ends are loose, the small ends loose. It's about equal. You're about 6, 7/10 loose on both of those. So, if you're gonna run the piss out of it in the racing conditions, yeah, you're good. But it's supposed to be a street bike. So that's where we're at. So let me clean these up. We'll make some decisions. Be back.